You had asked a question about square roots and being undefined. So I've got a definition here. I don't know if it's the official definition, but it's a definition that the square root of x is defined for all values of x that are greater than or equal to 0, but it's undefined then for all values of x that are less than 0. And just to kind of show that with an example quick, if you had, say, the square root of -4, so that's less than 0. The issue here is that positive 2 squared is not -4, and -2 squared, -2 times -2 is not -4. There is no real number multiplied by itself that equals a -4. So a negative value underneath the square root, underneath this radical sign here, doesn't have a real value. It's undefined in real numbers. So that's the question. This was the problem. It said we have the square root of the quantity 25 minus x squared, and they want to know where is it undefined. So to be undefined, we're really asking, where is whatever is underneath the square root, whatever is underneath my fingers, where is that less than or equal, or excuse me, just less than 0? That's really the question we're asking. When is this less than 0? That's the problem. If we can figure that out, we will answer the question, where is this undefined? So we're not really solving for x, we're just trying to figure out when won't it work. When will this quantity here be less than 0? Because then it will be undefined. All right, solving an inequality, I'm going to add x squared to both sides. You could subtract 25 and try and deal with it that way, but I'm just going to add x squared to both sides. 25 is less than x squared then. So now the question that I'm asking, and it keeps coming back to, what is the question? The question I'm asking is, what numbers for x, when I square it, is bigger than 25? I know, because I'm a math teacher and because I've done this so often, that 5 times 5 squared, is greater than 25, or excuse me, is equal to 25. It's not bigger, but it's equal. So 6 squared is 36, that's bigger than 25. 7 squared is 49, that's bigger than 25. In fact, even 5.1 times 5.1 is going to be a little bit bigger than 25. So any numbers that are bigger than 5, 5.1, 6, 7, 8, 9, etc., will all square to be larger than 25. So that works. If this was not a greater than sign, if it was, or a less than sign, excuse me, if it wasn't an inequality, if it was an equal sign, we could say that x could be 5, because 5 times 5 is 25, or x could be -5. -5 times -5 is 25. And that's something that we would write as this, plus or minus 5. That really doesn't quite work with an inequality. It causes some other issues, some ambiguity. So I'm going to use this -5. I'm going to use this idea here that it could be positive or -5, but it's written a little bit differently with an inequality. I do have to consider the -5 though. So -5 times -5 is 25. -6 times -6 is a positive 36. That's bigger than 25. -7 times -7 is a positive 49. That's bigger than 25. This is why you're seeing the option of x is greater than 5, or x could be less than -5. That's where that or piece comes in, is because any value of x less than -5 squared will be greater than positive 25. So that's an easy thing to forget about, but that plus or minus 5 we have to consider. And that brings us back to the original question, where is this undefined? If you pick any number bigger than 5, say 6, 25 minus 6 squared, 25 minus 36 will be negative. Can't take the square root of a negative number, it's undefined. Any number less than negative 5, negative 6. Negative 6 squared is 36. 25 minus 36, still negative, causes a problem. So it will be undefined for any of these values. Another way you could do it, and I know I don't think I can show my screen to you, but you had asked about number 4 on that sheet, which was, which of the following is undefined for all values of x such that x is greater less than 3. I have to look at the picture. I don't think I can show the image. You could try to solve it, and I'm writing something down here quick. These are the options. Forgive my chicken scratch handwriting. So it says which of these, A, B, or C, or D, will be undefined for all values for x less than 3. Honestly, if it's multiple choice, I believe the GED is multiple choice, I would do some guess and check. Pick a number less than 3, 1. 1 minus 3 is a negative number. That's a problem. So that could be it. 3 minus 1 is 2. You can take the square root of 2. It's not a nice decimal, but you can do it. So that's okay. 3 minus, let's see, the square root of 1 is 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. Okay. So that works. That works so far. Again, if x is 1, 3 times 1 is 3. The square root of 3 is a number. We can do that. So it looks like this is the only one that's undefined so far. I'm going to pick a smaller value for x, though. We're going to test the negatives. We'll try negative 2, maybe. Negative 2 minus 3 is negative 5. You still can't take the square root of a negative. Okay, so that's still undefined. Again, if x was negative 5, 3 minus negative 5 is 8. You can take the square root of 8. That's okay. If I said, let's see, what x was negative 2, is that what I said? So the square root of negative 2, I can't do that. So this doesn't work when x is negative. However, x could be positive. X could be positive 1, x could be positive 2, because those are numbers that are less than 3. So this sometimes works, but sometimes it doesn't. The question said, where is it undefined for all values? So this technically is true for some values. So we're okay there. Same thing here. If x was negative, 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. That causes a problem. You can't take the square root of negative 6 with real numbers. So it sometimes works, it sometimes doesn't. The only one that was undefined for all values of x was A. That's how you could guess and check your way into this answer. And guess and check is a reasonable problem-solving strategy, as long as you actually check and don't just guess. Hopefully that helped. This was a more precise solution for why it works, and this is how you could use some guess and check to get to the answer too.